All right. I'm so excited to be here for Super Client Attractor. This is going to blow your mind. So I really want you to keep an open mind. And if you're coming on, say hello in the comments and let me know what your manifestation goal is. I'm super excited to be here. My name's Lennon. I'm a multi-six-figure business mentor, and I teach other female entrepreneurs on social how to do the same thing through manifestation, social sales, and self-concept work. We're going to be diving into this juicy training. Now, per usual, I like to back it up, like the attraction piece, with some science. So specifically, we're going to be chatting a little bit about quantum physics. It's not going to get too far out of hand. You're going to be able to understand this. And by the end of this training, you're going to have a better understanding. Your consciousness and your mind and your knowledge is going to expand on how to become a super client attractor. So if you're coming on now, if you're catching the replay, hit that like button so other people get this message and they get this information and these tools as well. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. So if you're an OG, hello. Welcome back, my friends. And if you're new, awesome to have you here. And I'm going to just dive right in. We have about 20 minutes. So let me share my screen. All right. So this stunning manifestation technique is rooted in quantum physics. I've been studying manifestation for the past 10 years, and I have been implementing it in my methods, with my own stuff, and in support with my clients and containers, one-to-one, and in other areas like here for free. And it is pretty powerful when you implement it, but most people don't do it, or they can't stick it out because they get wrapped up into their current conditioning. So our current conditioning has a lot to do with how we attract clients into our business, or how we do business, or how we make money, or how we run our business. I want to share a quick little story. This 2022, 72K year thus far, and it was very challenging in ways with financial security, so I thought. But what it was preparing me to do this whole year is truly bring to fruition all of the knowledge, wisdom, and study I've done with manifestation and with quantum physics, so that I can bring it forth with this body of work and begin to actually teach it in a loud way. So, you're not going to find many places in the market, in the online space, where there is a true understanding and backup of quantum physics and how it relates to things like staying in alignment, doing aligned action, taking aligned action, attracting clients, embodiment. What else is there? Reprogramming things, right? So I really like to back it up because I think it's important. It's important on two levels, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. So this was really a beautiful year, and I encourage you to do this yourself. Like, what was the theme of 2022 for you? What was the classical theme, but what was the theme behind that in terms of what you can bring forth in your own business as you're showing up online, as you are educating and thought leading? What was the big theme for you? This can add a lot to your message, which supports, your client attractor skills, because you are your business, and a portion of the life experiences that you go through are there for a reason. And we want to use that and pour that energy into our work. So you're here, you're wanting to be a super client attractor. And you're wanting more clients, right? We all want more clients. And this is going to be rooted in quantum entanglement. So if you've ever heard of quantum entanglement, raise your hand, throw down a heart emoji in the comments. So I can go back and see where you're at on the spectrum of understanding quantum physics and quantum entanglement and other things like that. If you haven't, no worries at all. Something's drawing you here today to this video. That could be part of quantum entanglement. So today I want you to keep an open mind. So just because we don't understand something doesn't mean we should say that it's wrong. Again, most of our conditioning with how we do things in life is based upon classical science, right? So this is how this works with introduction to new knowledge, new wisdom, more consciousness. I don't know about you, but when I was in math class in high school, I did not like it. Even to this day, I ask myself, what was the point of all that? How do I even use it in real life? I'm going to give you that answer, and maybe nobody has ever made you aware of this idea. The fact that you were actually learning something new, like math, even if you couldn't apply it to your real world life, like all that calculus stuff, right? And all that algebra, even if you could not apply it to your real life, it provided you the ability to look at the world differently. When I heard that, it blew my mind. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm not begrudging it anymore, right? So this is what happens. This is what we do. A lot of cultures, American culture, we tend to think that if we cannot see it, we can't believe it. And then we discard it. But you're here because you're wanting to grasp on to more knowledge, more wisdom, less hustle, and more attraction. Okay? So that math idea, so just because it doesn't necessarily, the quantum entanglement, right? The experiments that they did, just because that stuff doesn't really make sense to you, learning it doesn't mean it's not going to change your perspective on reality, on how you do business, on how you attract clients, because it will. So, warning, this may hurt your brain a little bit. It hurt mine as I began to really listen over and over again and understand this. So we're not going to get too deep. We're just going to scratch the surface just enough for you to be able to understand, have more knowledge, expand your consciousness, to be able to tap into being a better super client attractor. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about hustle culture. Let's talk about attraction culture. There's times in your business where you have to hustle. There's times in your business where attraction is great too. So it's not about right and wrong, but let's talk about it. Because what is hustle culture, right? So first of all, hustle is chemical reactions going on in your body causing stress. It's not a specific activity that you're doing. So that kind of culture, pattern, habits that you're doing are based on limited classical scientific probabilities, which is no fault of your own, because the quantum physics has just recently been birthed in the 1900s. And now it's becoming more commonplace in business. It's in commonplace in the spiritual world. So let's talk about attraction culture. Attraction culture is quantum physics probabilities, and it's measured differently, okay? So just to have that distinction, one is not right, one is not wrong, but you can see the differences, right? And maybe you can apply which one is necessary to be able to be that super client attractor when necessary. But today, I want you to step into your super client attractor shoes because it is potent. It is possibly be a little bit beyond, or maybe not, what you're currently used to hearing in the online space about client attraction. Again, client attraction should be taught with some understanding behind quantum physics. So let's get into it. Briefly, this is an atom right here, okay? This is the nucleus. The only important thing I want you to remember is this is the electron, okay? So think of an electron and how it behaves like a kaleidoscope. When you look into a kaleidoscope, it's going up, down, all around, right? There's no specific position. I was just checking my time. There's no specific position. So in quantum physics, this is how the electron behaves. The electron is somewhere around the nucleus atom, okay? And it's not like an 8-ball that moves in a direct path. It moves up, down, and all around. And sometimes it just disappears and ends up on the other side. And then number 2, what quantum entanglement is saying about this is that the particles assume a superposition until they are measured. Keyword, 2 keywords, superposition and measured. These are keywords for being a super client attractor. Okay, what this means is we are not measuring something. When we're not measuring something, it doesn't even have a real world equivalent of its position. So classical science, it measures things in the probabilities, and it creates more, it has more of an absolute outcome mathematically. With quantum physics, it's a little different, okay? It's a little different. And again, manifestation is based upon the fundamental principles of quantum physics. So this is why you should want to hear this out. Stick with me, it's going to make sense. Albert Einstein called this spooky action at a distance, okay? So the spooky action at a distance. So here we have one electron and another, one guy and a gal, okay? And what quantum entanglement says, this is key, is that knowledge travels faster than the speed of light. Knowledge travels faster than the speed of light. This is what quantum entanglement means. This is what quantum physics is about, okay? There was something they did, a liken to analogy of what quantum entanglement is. If you have a wishbone, sorry, plant-based people, if you have a wishbone and you pull it apart, one girl stays on Earth and this guy goes to Andromeda, which is another universe. He can look at the big wishbone. Before I say that, he goes to Andromeda. Technically, quantum entanglement means that before anyone looks at it, they both assume the same position. So she has the big and little, and he has the big and little. Now, when he goes to look at the big wishbone, okay, he won, he got the big wishbone. It immediately assumes the position that she has the small one. Okay, this is so tricky. This is so tricky. It's hard for me to explain. So the fact that he looked at the big piece, it wasn't his conscious mind that created the instant position of what she had, but the idea of the breath, the molecules, the things that are going on in the atmosphere and around, right? But that idea that as soon as he breaks, right, as soon as he goes to Andromeda and he looks at the big piece, the knowledge, the knowing of his big piece immediately assumes her small piece, okay? Let me know if this is making sense. So again, it's not that the conscious mind of observation changes the makeup of that big piece. It's the fact that when he's looking, he's creating that knowledge, which then immediately assumes the position that she has the small piece. So let's dive into how this is about super client attracting, okay? Oh, this is so good. I get so excited about this. I don't even know who's watching, if anyone's watching, but this is so fun. Okay, so again, quantum entanglement. Before anyone looks, they both assume they both have little and big, even when it's broken, okay? This is the spooky action at a distance. When he goes to look, the immediate knowledge of him looking travels faster than the speed of light to assume the position that she has the small piece. She doesn't even have to be looking at it. Okay? All right, let's make this clear. How do we see this in real life? Let's see how much time I have. I have like 5 minutes. How do we see this in real life? We actually see this in real life. Quantum entanglement, before it even existed, right? We had the classical science, artificial intelligence. I'm sure people are catching on. Artificial intelligence is working this way, right? It's knowledge that travels faster than the speed of light. I mean, how else can artificial intelligence work? How else can that algorithm work? Some bird species actually have that ability to communicate, almost like telepathy, right? We've heard, some people have heard of telepathy. I believe, this is my assumption. Remember the time when you were younger and maybe you were of age or not, but we had TVs, and if you took the cable out, it would be all snow. That reminds me of the electron being in a superposition, and it reminded me of the universe. Magnetic imaging, MRIs, they use quantum entanglement. They use this quantum physics to be able to see that knowledge, have that information. When you ask, the answer comes. This is like the most basic form of, you know, when you're going through something or you're stuck or you have a, like, you know, some hurdle, when you ask, the answers come to you. The mother and the baby, the mother and the fetus, right? That umbilical cord and the connection to the mother and the fetus is like that knowledge, right? It might not, and we've all heard of like womb healing, right? This is likened to that same thing. If you've ever dropped your credit card or your lip gloss inside between the seats and you go to reach for it, and when you go to reach for it, the thing just falls further. This is like quantum entanglement, because it's like you're going to measure it with that hand and it literally changes its position. And then the whole computer and tech and GPS world is based on quantum entanglement. We are one, right? That hippie saying, we are one, is quantum entanglement. I love this one. The liking of a relationship breakup. Okay, so you have a relationship, you're in the relationship with a partner, and along the way there's certain things that happen, and you end up breaking up. But it's like, who broke up with who first? Who sent that signal out first? Who made that action? Who made that determination first? Kind of just like a play on quantum entanglement. But let's bring it back down to ground. Let me know in the comments if you're having aha moments. This is important. When you engage, it actually lights up the part of the brain that really ingrains it more. So a lot of mindset coaches are going to not like me, but this is my philosophy. And, quantum physics, they measure these tangible things, nucleus, atoms, but they're not measuring business stuff. They're not measuring how it works with business, how it works with clients, how it works with making money, right? So there's not a lot of information out there, but my hypothesis of thoughts becoming things is partial to the fact that I don't really believe that that is necessarily true. I believe what I do believe about thoughts, because if we're thinking all the time, right? If we were basing that on manifestation in quantum physics, things would be just slamming at us left and right, right? Whether it's good and bad. I mean, I guess you could liken that to all of the things that do come at us. But if you want it to be focused and intentional in your business, I believe that it's the knowledge and the measurement of the knowledge that creates manifestations that we want. So I'm just about to be wrapped up. Now, this is one of my methods that I use with myself, with my clients, to reverse engineer your dream clients. This is self-concept work. I believe thoughts support the self-concept that can create the identity, patterns, and actions then to elicit manifestation. But I don't believe necessarily that thoughts, you think thoughts and they create what you want. I just, as I've been studying more and more, I don't think that that's necessarily a direct connect as we think it is. So how to become a super client attractor. Here's something that you can do, some actual things you can do in your business. You want to spend time focusing on certain people on your platforms that are popping up into your world, that you're getting this sensation, this intuitive hit about, that you think that they're going to be your clients, okay? Creating a client list and focusing on that list. Subliminal communication, right? This is not about manipulation. It just depends on your perspective. If you're trying to get people, that's different than like, I really would love for this person to be my client, Paying attention to people who are showing up on your social media handles and really studying them, taking the time to really make that energetic connection. And even physical, meaning like reaching out or talking to them, asking them questions, using your intuition when transferring knowledge. That should say knowledge, right? So using your intuition, transferring knowledge. Remember, quantum entanglement, knowledge travels faster than the speed of light. This is how you become a super client attractor. And tracking, right? Lists, tracking. It's the power of measurement that creates the clients you want. You could use that with anything that you want, to be honest. But when you are tracking things, it changes the superposition of that thing, right? It creates the tangibility of it. So these are just some of the ways that you can be a super client attractor. Feel free to go back, take screenshots. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. And I'm super excited because all of this culmination of my work this whole year and the 10 years that I've been studying manifestation and quantum physics is going to be wrapped up in my new membership community, which I'm so stoked about. And it's literally $1 a day. That ends on January 1st, 2023. And it goes up to $90 a month. So you get all of this inside it: community access, private community, manifestation, social media strategy, weekly channeled intuitive business readings, and so much more. I'll just drop the link. But this is the thing. If you're done with feeling like you're burnt out, you feel like you want more wisdom on understanding how to really manifest in a sustainable way and really allow yourself to step into your new identity, right? Stepping into your 6-7-figure identity, this is going to be the place for you. And we're excited because we're not only just teaching master classes, we're pairing quantum physics with manifestation and the strategic things that you would normally do in your business, right? So this is the place to be. I'm super excited about this. I'll drop that link up in the description or in the comments. And I hope you have a beautiful day. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you on the next episode.